Hello, hi, it's Paul at SET English. We're doing another live stream today, as we do every day. You can always come and find us at this time every day. So you can just click and follow us if you want to, and you get notifications when we do live classes. It'd be really nice as well if you could like this video. That would be really nice as well. Thank you. We're going to give you another bit of OET advice today, some tips and tricks. Today, I want to talk about writing. Okay, so if you are watching, if you're out there and you're interested in finding out a little bit about OET writing, then let me know. Put your name in the chat box. Let me know where you are, and I'd be happy to shout out, maybe talk a little bit about what you put in here. And if you've got any questions, you can ask me. Okay, so what I would really like to talk about today is I'd like to talk about OET writing. Okay, so people often do not plan when they're doing their writing. They often do not plan. So I want to just talk about what the benefits are of planning, just briefly, and then go through how we do it at OET. Okay, sorry, at SET. So if we don't plan, what can happen? Okay, there are a few possible outcomes. Okay, if we don't plan, we might have issues with organization, which, if you know anything about OET, that's something that you're graded on. Okay, there could be issues with organization. There could also be missing content. That's a problem. Okay, there could be content we don't need. All right, and I think also, really importantly, there could be issues with time management. And that leads to other types of issues. Okay, so such as language problems and more organization, content accuracy, all of those kinds of things. These are things that can go wrong. So if we don't plan, these are the problems that we get. So it seems pretty obvious to me that good planning always leads to good results. But if you don't plan, then you're very unlikely to get good results. That's my experience. So if you just go to the OET exam without doing any prep, well, you haven't planned that well, have you? If you just think, well, I'll just put some food in a picnic basket and go out and have a picnic in the UK, then you're probably going to end up getting wet. Okay, so that's not good planning. You need to check the weather, okay, or check that where you're going has got shelter. Okay, so if we all agree that planning is good, then why don't we do it? Well, I would say there's probably a couple of reasons. One, people don't know how to do it. And secondly, people are worried about wasting time. All right, so I get it. I completely understand it. People are worried about wasting time. You get 45 minutes in total. We don't want to spend 10 to 15 minutes planning, because we need to write. I get that, but I also disagree with it. Okay, I also disagree with it. And the reason I disagree with it is because actually it doesn't take that long to write 180 to 200 words. Think about how many words there are here now. How many is this? 59? 59 words. We just need to do that 3 times and we've got 180 words basically. That doesn't look like a lot of words, does it? Okay, so actually I think that this is a misconception. Okay, a big misconception is it takes a long time to write 180 to 200 words. That's a big misconception. All right. And I think that what we need to do is we need to rethink this. Okay. We need to rethink it. It doesn't take a long time. You can write 200 words in 5 minutes if you really wanted to. If it was something that you felt knowledgeable about, take you 5 minutes to write 200 words. 10 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes. Okay. Just to be really conservative about it. All right. If we have a clear understanding of what we want to write, then we can write 200 words in under 30 minutes. Why don't we agree that? Okay, let's agree that. If we have a clear understanding of what it is that we want to say, then we can write 200 words in under 30 minutes. I don't think anyone can argue with that. If you had to write about your family, 200 words. If you had to write about your hometown, 200 words, you'd do it like that. So, let's go back to this one. Maybe people don't plan because they don't know how to do it. Maybe they've never been advised to do it. So, that's something that we can look at now. Okay? At SET English, what we do is we recommend a planning process. All right. And that involves 6 questions. All right. 6 questions. First question. Who are we writing to? Okay. Let's call them the recipient. Who are we writing to? All right. Secondly, what are we asking them to do? Thirdly, do they know the patient? Fourthly, does the writer, me, have any tasks? 5, why am I writing today? And 6, is it urgent? If you answer those 6 questions accurately, okay, if you answer those accurately, then you will get a really, really good understanding of the purpose of the task. And from the purpose comes content and organization. All right. So what do we need to do in OET writing? We need to choose content and put it in paragraphs. And all of that information that we include has to support the purpose. So, who are we writing to? This dictates things. Are we writing to a neurologist? Are we writing to a dietitian? Are we writing to a GP? Are we writing to the A&E? They all have different levels of knowledge, different ideas, okay? Different recipients have different expertise, okay? So that dictates the kind of things that they are going to be interested in and the kind of things that they already know about. And that will influence the kind of abbreviations and short forms that we use in our letters. What are we asking them to do? Well, this is the task. Okay? This is the purpose, the clear purpose of the letter. I think that one's easy. We can just find that at the bottom of the letter, the bottom of the case notes. Do they know the patient? Okay, this influences the type of information we include. Okay, for instance, background. If we're writing to someone's GP, we don't have to put their background, their medical history. Okay, all of this kind of stuff. It doesn't have to go in there, all right? So, do they know the patient? A key question. I feel like after I've written those 3, I've got a really good chance of writing a letter and doing really, really well with it. Those 3 for me are the foundation of good letter writing. Does the writer have any tasks? This is me. Okay, so sometimes in the plans, there can be multiple tasks for different people. I did one the other day, and it had referred to a neurologist, I think. No, referred to a psychiatrist, I think it was. Secondly, talk to employer about reducing work hours, and referred to, no, it was an endocrinologist, referred to an endocrinologist, speak to employer regarding reduced work hours, and the third one was refer to a nutritionist. Now, I was writing to an endocrinologist. I don't expect them to speak to my patient's employer. I don't expect them to refer someone to a nutritionist. That was a task for me to do. Okay. Sometimes I have to do something, and it might be something like, please note there's a follow-up appointment at some point, or they need to be referred somewhere else. Why am I writing today? Now, this gives us the understanding of the story. Why am I writing today? It's important that you underline that word. How have we come to this point? Okay, how have we come to this point? That gives us a really good sense of the kind of things that we should be saying to other people and where we are in the moment. And then, is it urgent? We always include this because we need to include in the letter to get a good purpose score. Okay, we have to do that. So these are the questions that we always ask at the beginning of any writing task. It's essential that we answer these questions correctly. Hi there, Shani, good to see you. Okay, if we don't do these questions, then how are we supposed to get a really good, clear understanding of the purpose of the task? So what I was thinking we could do is we could go and look at a nursing writing task, and we can do these questions. Okay, so let's take this and go and have a look at another task that we've got set up. Okay, let me open it now. It is this one. Yeah, okay, Carl Brown. Okay, so I'm going to pop this here. Okay, here's our questions. Let's go through and have a think about it. Okay, so who are we writing to? Okay, we're writing to an occupational therapist. We can see that there. So that tells us something immediately, doesn't it? This is someone who, they might not have a lot, in terms of medical knowledge. They might not have all of the different ideas about what the vital signs mean, all of these different ideas of previous medical history, any kind of results of tests and things like that. Okay, occupational therapist. Okay, what are we asking them to do? Okay, let's have a look. So it says, request a workplace assessment. Okay, we're asking for a workplace assessment. That's what they're asking them to do for us. Do they know the patient? Well, I assume that they don't, do they? Because this is a referral letter to a specialist. So the answer there is no. Okay, so straight away, I know then that there could be information here that's important in the background. There could be information here to do with the treatment that they've had in the past, which could be useful for me. Okay, does the writer have any tasks? No, it says just write to the occupational therapist. Okay, so the answer to that question is no. Next one, why am I writing today? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. So why am I writing today? We need to have a look at the task now. Okay, let's go and have a look at the task. What happened? Okay, on the 15th of January, the patient presented with lower back pain. Okay, with a score of 4 out of 10, spasms, and we diagnosed a grade 2 muscle sprain for lower back. Okay, and we think it was possibly aggravated by prolonged sitting and poor posture. Okay, so what did we do? We gave painkillers. Okay, right. We advised no sitting at the desk, and regular planning breaks. Okay. They started some physio, and then we organised a follow-up appointment on the 25th of January. Okay, good. All right, okay, so let's keep going. On the 25th of January, what happened? Their pain had dropped. Okay, so they've done some non-compliance with the medication and postural advice. Okay, so wants to get back to how things are, and okay, the patient's consented to a referral. Okay, so the reason, I guess, why we're writing today is because the patients requested it. Okay, that's the reason, isn't it? The patients requested it. Okay, as requested after a review. And is it urgent? No, it's not. Okay, so I feel like I've got a really clear idea of the purpose of this letter. That didn't take me 10 minutes, okay? It's taken me about 5 minutes. But from having a really clear idea of it, I think I'm going to suggest this. Introduction. Then I'm going to do a background. Then I'm going to do a timeline paragraph. And then I'm going to do a request. Okay, and in that timeline, I'm going to summarize 15th of January and the 25th. Okay, so the timeline is going to be progress January. So what is it? The 15th, sorry, 15th to 25th. Was it January, the last one? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. So the last 10 days, that's basically what I'm going to do. They presented on the 15th. They came back on the 25th for a review. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the progress there. I'm going to choose background. What kind of background information do I need? Okay, so let's have a look. He works at home 8 hours a day on a computer. That's important. Okay. Osteopenia and degenerative spondylosis. Okay, well, this is some kind of a back problem, isn't it? Okay, so I think I'll mention that. And also 2015, disc herniation. Okay, so that's useful as well. L4, L5, lumbar region. Okay, so there's definitely some information in the background there. Okay, so there's some family history. There is the personal medical history. And there is the current situation. Sits at home, 8 hours a day on his computer. And then in my request, I'm just going to put this detailed plan here. Okay, that's what I'm going to put. Okay, so here in my plan, I'm going to put the detailed plan and request. That's there. So that's my planning process. It was really easy because it was underpinned by answering these questions and understanding who I was writing to, what I was asking them to do for me, knowing what the relationship was, knowing what I have to do, knowing why I'm writing today and I didn't write yesterday and I'm not writing tomorrow. Okay? And knowing that it's not urgent as well. It's really important for me. So that's the planning process. Now, I think we should all be spending 10 to 15 minutes doing this, choosing content, going through the case notes and ticking the content that we think is useful. Now, more skill is required when it comes to, well, how much detail do I put in for each thing? That's a different day. That's a different thing for us to talk about. But this planning process is the start. And right now you might feel like, okay, well, I'm not perfect at that, so I'm scared of it. But don't. When you're doing your writing practices, you should be planning every task like this, like you would in the exam. Okay. Let's finish there. Okay. You can find out more of this. If you come and study with us, this is how we do our writing classes. This is how we mark your writing in terms of all of the criteria. But having the planning in place means that you can get a better score in organization, purpose, and content. And those are the three important parts of OET marking. All right? If you get those right, the other parts will follow. All right, let's finish there. Have a really nice day. And don't forget, if you like this video, please click like. That would be really good. Or share it with people if you think it could be useful. Come and find us if you want to. Just Google us, SET English OET Training. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, guys.